Hello and welcome to the EduTalk series hosted by Biotone, Biotone EduPartner Program, and massage industry experts. With the challenges continuing to face massage schools, students, and licensed practicing massage therapists during COVID, the EduTalk series supports virtual learning and sense of building community by connecting you with industry experts who will share their knowledge and advice for not only class discussion, but career success. Tonight's expert is Nathan Nordstrom, a practicing massage therapist since 2001 and founding director of Educated Touch and educatedtouch.com, which provides training for massage therapists. Nathan served on numerous massage industry boards, including the American Massage Therapy Association and the Massage Therapy Foundation. Currently, Nathan is the National Director of Massage Training for Hand and Stone Franchise Company. Let's listen and learn as Nathan shares tips for taking on challenges with confidence. This has to be a great topic to start 2021, as we've had our fair share of challenges, again, both professionally and personally. Every day we're faced with these challenges and we second guess ourselves. We ask, did I make the right decision? How can I be confident about the decision I made? I don't want to make a mistake. And we go into that panic. So Nathan is going to share his tips and insights and steps for success to remove our fear, uncertainty, doubt, and any regret. Let's make it a confident year ahead. And thank you for joining us tonight. Please use the upper right-hand corner view to speaker view. And during Nathan's chat or talk tonight, if you'd like to ask questions, please use the chat button in the navigation bar. And I believe that's it for me. And with that, I'll turn it over to Nathan. Thank you.
Well, Donnell, thank you so much. Oh, getting some feedback. Thank you so much for inviting me and letting me come in today. I really do love that you brought up some standard pieces to challenge that people are afraid of. For me, the biggest number one challenge there really is that fear of failure. I got a great quote years ago from a motivational book that was, I'm successful because I fail more than the average person. I try and I get it wrong. And when you get it wrong, as long as you do one major thing, you're going to be successful. And that is learning from it. If you have a challenge, if there's something coming up in front of you and it's hard, that's fine. You can try your hardest and sometimes you're not going to get it right. And that's okay. That's absolutely the way it's supposed to be, because we learn from our challenges that we do not succeed with. The failure concept is a different world. And so we want to make sure that we're looking at failure and success as kind of the outcomes of attempts. You fail 5 times, you probably succeed. None of us went to massage school and passed pathology before we took Anatomy 1. We all had to take that very beginning introductory stuff to start feeling confident, comfortable, and happy that we knew what we were going to be doing. And so just like the rest of life, we have to be looking at ourselves as students of life, because life is not a process where we're expected to be at the end before we even start. So know that messing up happens, but learning from every mess up is so important, and being able to take those steps that make us stronger. And I hate to say it, the stronger you get, the harder challenges you're given. the harder challenges become. You aren't able to run a marathon if you can't run a 5K. And so you have to take those first steps to get up to the level where you want to be successful. And if you have dreams that are much bigger than you are, I'm so glad to hear that, because that means you have something to aim for. If you're only dreaming to what you can get done tomorrow, then you're not seeing a larger picture and having that bigger dream. And so it's important to hold on to your dreams and start looking at how you build to those dreams. My children, I use them as references an awful lot in every talk that I give and every presentation. I have teenagers. I have a 18, a 16, a 13, and a 10. And so my 4 kids have taught me an awful lot, and they've challenged me an awful lot. Being able to know that teenagers will challenge you is definitely something there. And you don't usually build up to those challenges too quickly. Sometimes they throw some real zingers at you. But if we take on the challenge with confidence, confidence does not mean perfection, but with confidence that we know what we can do and we know what our limitations are, we can become more structurally stabilized. So what are some of the things that will make someone who doesn't know what they're doing feel confident that they are going to be doing better? So going back to the first thing is know that you might fail, and it's okay. Failure is just success in the making. So enjoy flubbing up on things once in a while and being okay with it, and apologizing, just saying, oh, you know what, I screwed up. Can I have another try at it? That's going to be one of those big things. But one thing that you can do is work to your strengths. So that's like the beginning core thing, is you have skills that no one else has. And in those skills, you're building strength upon those the more you learn about your skills. And so when it really comes down to knowing and working to your strength, you really have to understand more about you. You have to get a little more insight. You've got to get a little more understanding, and you have to be able to self-reflect. So if you've never done this, grab a pad, a piece of paper, grab something, and write down the top 5 things you're good at. Write 5 things that you really know you're confident with. If you're looking to become the best massage therapist in the nation, what are the strengths that you have that will help you get there? What are those things that really shine for you? You know, you have to know your strengths and work with your strengths to make them better, but also to use them to build an understanding for other people of what your focus and your niche skill set is. So being able to hold on to your strengths and really build those is really important. Now, that actually reflects right onto the secondary aspect of making sure that you're confident. Be confident to ask for help. I see a lot of people who are kind of shy or afraid to ask for help. I usually look at this as who has a map and is great at the map and never gets lost. And then if you're driving and you are lost, are you willing to stop for help? Stop and ask. Because you know what? That person who's at that local store, if you are from another town or another part of town, they probably know where something is that's close more than you would. So being willing to ask for help is such a benefit. And if you believe that you know everything about everything, your falls are going to be harder. Your challenges are going to restrict you. So know that other people have more knowledge in aspects and ask them for it. One of the greatest examples of that is science. You'll see a lot of technology that will transfer into the biotech, or a lot of anatomy that then they'll start looking at, hey, how do we make a microprocessor that's better? Well, let's reflect it onto the human brain. Well, how do we do that? And we use a lot of turnover and cross pollination of information to really make things stronger. But the only way we get there is if someone who knows a lot about one subject can ask someone else who knows a lot about another subject. I love talking to experts in other industries, and I don't really care what industry. If we can get together with someone who knows a lot about something, it's so nice to say, hey, how can that affect my practice? How can that affect my business? How can that affect my teaching style, my presentation? How can that affect my students? It's important to look into all aspects around you and ask for help to make you better. Creativity is such an important tool when it comes to this hybrid, making a hybrid of information to cross-pollinate, to strengthen us. So going along with that is asking the right questions. So how do you know what a right question is? My children have asked me questions that I didn't deem the right question, mostly because I asked them, usually after they ask that question, do you already know the answer to this question? If they do, that's probably not the right question. One of my favorites is, but why? I have a friend who uses the concept of a toddler asking, but why, but why, but why, but why, but why, and digging deeper and deeper and deeper. And if you get to a point where you can't answer the next question, can you understand why that is? And if it's the simplest of simples, then do you really need to ask the next question? So asking questions in a multitude of directions can give us an ability to understand more. So if my children ask, hey, Dad, can I take the car? And they don't have a license, I will be able to say, do you really need to ask that question? And if they say, okay, when I'm 16 or 18 and have my driver's license, can I take the car? Is there an appropriate time when you should ask that? Where should we be asking that, and how should we be asking that? Those are some great tools to remember that we're asking the right questions at the right time in the right place. Now, how do you know where that is? Sometimes you just have to ask that question. Hey, is this the right time to ask? You know, I see the chat part coming up. That's a great way to take questions that are at top of the mind and go, wait, let me just put this in here, and then that'll be asked at an appropriate time. My kids are doing Zoom classroom a lot, and being able to see them processing new ways of communicating and new ways of connecting with their teachers, their classmates. My daughter has gotten really ingenious when she is on a Zoom classroom. Not only does she use chat, but then she uses text independent of that for the right messages. Now, it distracts her from doing what she's supposed to, but it is her being creative to say, hey, here's what I think, here's what I want to do, here's what I want to know. And asking questions can help. Asking questions can give you an idea of why you need to learn a subject. Well, you can ask questions to anyone, right? I know I've asked questions to people who I think know answers, and I've asked questions to people I didn't think know answers. Being able to hold the highest standards of yourself and of information is important. So I strive to make sure that when every client comes into my treatment room, my first question is, what would make this the best session for you today? Have you ever had that question asked when you're getting ready to get on the massage table? What can I do to make this session the best session for you today? If you're asking how to make the best, you're going to hold those high standards. Good enough is not good enough. Good enough is mediocre. Good enough holds to a baseline that in the massage profession, we have to bump through the roof. We have to say, we want to make sure that every session has the best response and the best skills and the best improvement as we go. So if we're looking at our standards and making sure that we hold our standards to the best quality and the best experience, well, then our clients will see that. And what do you think they're going to do? They're going to expect the same, as well as those who they refer are going to expect the same. So holding high standards makes everyone better and improves everyone. When you're holding high standards, that doesn't mean perfection. No one's going to reach perfection. Now, you may have a perfect day. You may have a perfect hour. You may have a perfect week, depending on what your goal is. And so being able to say that I am holding high standards and I will probably mess up once in a while gives you the ability to be confident that you're doing better than you ever were. One of my favorite examples here is I have many friends who have had a challenge with nicotine, smokers, chewers, those types of habits, drinkers. So something where they're having a challenge quitting something. Could be anything, could be a vape, could be that there's any number of habits that you would want to change. And the one big challenge of changing a habit is that you change the habit and then you expect for it to be perfect and never, ever go back to it. And if you do have a challenge, go back to it. If you fail, then you start the self-abuse. And you start thinking, oh, I'm just never going to make it. And so I'm just going to keep doing whatever I'm doing because it's just who I am. Truth is, it's not who you are. It is a challenge. So you can look at all of your challenges and say, hey, you know what? I've gone 1 week without that habit. Was that higher standard than what you had before? Yes. So what is the next standard that you have? Go 2 weeks, go a month, go 2 months, go 6 months, go a year. This is the way that we look at that high standard and hiring your standard as you get better. Now, if you failed after a week and you have that challenge that's still facing you and it's still glooming in front of you, then start back to that challenge and look a little bit higher. If you succeed on that one, keep looking ahead and say, can I double the amount of time that I have? Or can I continue on so that I can improve my life? Without numbers, we cannot see improvement. Every improvement needs to be verifiable. So it has to be quantified. You have to have a number to say, okay, I have succeeded this many times in a row. I've had this many positive client feedbacks from the massage sessions that I've had. I've had this many days, this many hours. I've done this many pages of study in a row. For those of you in massage school, awesome, congratulations. This is a high standard that your school is putting on you, and you can be successful. The way to be successful is to find those smaller goals and achieving them day by day to get yourself better and better and better until your high standards exceed the high standards of your school. Did you hear that? I expect your high standards to exceed the high standards of your school. Right now, you might be thinking, well, I don't know if I can get better than what my school expects of me. You can. You absolutely can. You can be the best massage therapist anyone has ever seen. the key steps is that you look past other people's limitations or restrictions and look to your next success. Changing the perception of goals and changing the perspective of success. All right, so how do we really make that the most successful thing? I mean, we've already talked about success and failure. We've already talking about challenge, and we're talking about confidence, but we also need to talk about trust. Trust is a hard thing for a lot of people. And who do we trust and how do we trust them? Every once in a while, you'll find a massage therapist who may have said the following statement. Clients, they just lie to you. They don't tell you about their health history, or they're just going to make stuff up, and so they just lie to you. You know, there may be a person who doesn't give the fullness of their health history. That's sad that they feel like they have to hide it. That's also a psychosis. That's also mental. So the mental aspect of challenge and why they don't feel like they can share with you is a challenge. So this piece is really important because it comes down to trusting your clients and trusting your coworkers, trusting your friends, trusting anybody around you. The aspect of trust is a huge responsibility, not only for confidence, but overcoming challenges. If you can't trust, then your challenges are only going to get worse. So let's look at the ability to trust. And why do we need to trust other people? And why do we need to be able to trust ourselves? Without trust, we actually cannot communicate effectively. We cannot have open borders of communication to create the next standard, and we can't improve on the relationship that we have. So when we communicate, ask for clarification from your clients. You know, being able to say at the very beginning, what's going to make this the best session possible for you? If they give you an answer and you say, well, I don't trust that, then you're cutting yourself short and cutting your relationship with your client short, because they're asking for something specific to make this the best massage possible. So trust your clients, trust your friends, trust your colleagues, trust your coworkers, and give them an opportunity to not only them be successful, but also have you be successful. Now, the big piece that I see right now, we're in January and I'm excited about January. I think January is one of the best months of the year. I usually say one of the 12 best months of the year, but it's one of the best months of the year. Because in January, you have this concept of New Year's resolutions. And so many people cut New Year's resolutions short. The percentage of New Year's resolutions that are successful is dismal, because they haven't defined what a successful New Year's resolution is. When we talk about goal setting, really quantifying it, making sure that you have SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound, those aspects of what a goal is, and then short-term and long-term goals. Truly, I think January should be the month of celebration, because on January 1st, you made a goal to do something. And on January 2nd, or even on January 1st, if you did it on January 1st, by January 2nd, you should be out there celebrating your achievements, being excited that you could accomplish something, being excited that you could take that next step, that you could have a day where you've done something to be successful. Too many people take their achievements and minimize them. And they're like, yeah, everybody's done that. People have done that all year long. They do that all the time. But the truth is, you didn't. And the excitement is, the achievement is that you have done it for the first time. And being able to feel the celebration of achievement means that you're going to have a positive dopamine rush, which means that When you take that challenge again, you're more likely to succeed more. When you are celebrating life and the achievements with which you have challenged yourself with, you're giving yourself a chemical boost in your mind that makes you happy. Avoiding challenges doesn't make anyone happy. Avoiding challenges actually reduces the dopamine high that our body's natural chemistry requires to be successful and happy and achieving. You know, if we can truly celebrate our achievements, trust our clients, hold high standards, ask the right questions to the right people, ask for help when we need help, and work to your strengths, it's more likely that you're going to be successful beyond what you ever knew. And your challenges are going to get harder, but your confidence is going to get higher. Make sure that you're taking yourself and trusting yourself to be successful. Each day you can get more and more successful. A quick little quote here that I got from my parents as a child, and I've been searching for this quote for a long time on where it initially came from, and I haven't found it yet. But you don't know what you can truly do until you have done more than you've ever done before. I know that I keep myself extremely busy, and I know a lot of other people do. But really looking at refining what you do and making it the thing that you truly want to achieve will help you be successful. I'm thankful that you guys are here. I'm grateful that you guys watch this video in your time, because it's important for you to know that you can be successful. You can have a comforting heart and feel confident in your skills as you go through the process of life. Every time you find that obstacle ahead of you, know that it is a challenge that you can overcome, even if it's hard. Thank you.
Well, hello again, Nathan.
Hey.
Thank you. I mean, this is a great talk, and I was thinking that I think I need to listen to the recorded version of this a couple of times. I do see that some chats came in that if you'd like to address those.
Love to.
Then I'll just stay quiet and continue to listen.
All right. Let's see. How do we do this in such uncertain times? Oh, I love it, because right now is like the ideal explanation of uncertainty, right? There's so much that we don't know about state by state. I actually deal with a lot of the state regulations as they're going. If you're in California, the ability to say, hey, you know what? I don't know if my office is going to be open tomorrow. If you're in Canada, if you're in, no, Florida's been open, but in a state where you have challenge and you're like, I don't know if I can be successful in practicing today, that's fine. Look at the other goals. What other goals do you have, and what challenges are ahead of you? One of my favorite challenges right now goes right back to California. Thanks, California. I appreciate this. So in California, depending on the county, if you are medically necessary or you're a medical provider, then you categorically are considered a business that can open. And so being able to say, okay, you know what? I can redefine success, because truth be said, what we really want to see is we want to see improvement with what you can do. Now, if you want to run a marathon and you don't have any legs, that's going to be a real big difficulty. So go back to a little bit of my history. Many years ago, I got connected with the Massage Therapy Foundation, and I ran the Boston Marathon for the Massage Therapy Foundation. A little bit before that, just about a year before that, I had never run in my life. I really did not like running. I didn't like really physical exercise at all. And so as I started running, I felt uncertainty with every run that I did. Actually, interestingly, so I was working at a rock and roll marathon in Savannah, Georgia, and I had my students there. And after I got challenged to run the next year's rock and roll marathon, I said, "Oh, okay, well, if you guys do this many massages, I'll run next year's rock and roll marathon. I'm always up for a challenge, I guess." Um, and so as they blew that number out of the water, and they did almost double, I think it was like 200 to 400. I mean, it was a huge number of massages that they did, more than I thought they actually could. I then after that run, after we worked on all the runners, I went home and I said, you know what? I need to see how far I can run. And so I put on my gym shoes and I started running. And I got half a block down to the corner and sat down on the curb and had to catch my breath. I was dizzy. I was out of breath. My legs were burning. My heart hurt. My head hurt. And I went, I don't know if I can do this. And for me, that was a very uncertain time. That was a very uncertain moment. Still kind of brings tears to my eyes. And right now in 2020, and dealing with the recovery of 2020, you notice that I say dealing with the recovery of 2020. It's not that you can't do something, it's that you can absolutely do it. It's that it may take a little bit longer time and it may change some of your goals, but recognize the goals that are important. Your family, your personal time, your professional time, making sure that you're looking at the tools that you have. And there's a lot of benefits that have opened up right now. I don't know how people feel about online learning. This is definitely a hybrid, unique world to be looking at. But a lot of places are actually taking their didactic hands-on courses and training online. And this gives you the education and the information to know how to do something, to be successful and attempt it in your own practice. That might be with the few clients that you have. That might be on your friends and family, the people who are around you, the people who you are quarantined with, all of those pieces. You know what? Uncertain times, I have to go to this other side, means potential success, because it's hard. And if you succeed something when it's hard, how much easier is it going to be for you to do it when it's easy? The life choices that you make when things get hard will make the rest of the days so much easier. Advice for not getting personally attacked during the challenges we face. So I'm going to go both directions on that. Let me just read the rest. I am an educator in this weird world. Well, first of all, congratulations and thank you for being an educator in this weird world. Being attacked for doing what's right is a standard behavior. I'm sorry to say that. The most successful people were attacked for their true beliefs and for their attempts to do things better. But who are they being attacked by? They're being attacked by people who are jealous or people who don't feel they can be as successful. I look at many people who have been successful in life, even though it didn't end with the most success. Martin Luther King Jr. His own personal life was taken, but yet his movement moved on. Gandhi. There's so many leaders in the world that were willing to stand up for what is true and right, period. And most of the time, it doesn't take a life, but being able to stand up and smile and know that when you're being attacked, you're doing what is right. Apologize. I'm sorry that you feel uncomfortable with the things that I'm saying. I know that things can be very difficult, but being able to step through and look at, with empathy, at what they are attacking you for. You know, they have attachment to a certain behavior, a certain life situation, and sometimes not all success is for all people. They may not be ready for that success. There's a big statement about being afraid of success, and it's true. There are a lot of fears that come with coming across success. They don't quite know what to do because they don't have the access or the comfort of knowing what will happen if they do find that type of success. I've seen too many massage therapists who, as soon as their books get full, their books start shrinking down. And it's not COVID, it's not something else, but they aren't marketing, that they're holding back and they're not able to maintain themselves. A lot of times it's because of their own personal fears hiding deep within. Because what would it mean to have a full book for a full year? What would it mean to have a full client roster for 5 years, for 10 years? Now, I'm not saying packed to the gills. I'm saying full and confident and comfortable for you. Let that be 25 clients or 30 clients or 35 clients. If you're doing 40 clients a week, God bless you. I don't quite know how you're surviving doing 40 clients a week with all the rest of the business aspects. But you know what? It's possible. And if you can get out of your own challenge and you can address and challenge people to become effective, then you'll be able to push them to be successful too. Looks like we have one more. An affirmation I say to myself when nervous, challenged, facing something new. I am poised. I am calm. Nothing in this world can disturb me. It's a beautiful statement. And it's powerful, not just because of what it says, but because just how it's read, you can feel it right here. The concept, I am poised and I am calm. That's a calming effect right there. It just, nothing in this world can disturb me. Now, things can distract you, but disturb is a whole different game. And so make sure that you're holding on to your goals and your plans and looking at those things. One last thing before I get too far into distraction.
Reel you back in.
Get out, I know. Remember New Year's goals. We talked about New Year's resolutions. I have loved and hated New Year's resolutions throughout my life. And the one thing that I remind people is that you're more successful if you have new month resolutions than if you ever have a New Year's resolution. And at the beginning of the year, you can map out what your 12 new month resolutions are going to be so that you can find success for 30 days, 31 days, 28 days, 30 days, 31 days. You can then feel confident that throughout the year you have success and you get that dopamine high of success for 30 days. That's going to make you more successful. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Nathan. And again, this talk was recorded tonight, and I would encourage everyone to come back to the EduTalk Resource Library, Archive Library, and listen to it again. If anyone has any last minutes, last questions, feel free to chat them. And Nathan, again, can be reached at educatedtouch.com.
That is correct.
And I'd like to, again, thank you all for participating. We have, EduTalk series has a great lineup of speakers for this year. And looking ahead at the end of the month, we have Get Sucked In. Consider adding vacuum therapy to your practice, and that's with Anita Shannon. Beginning of February 9th, we have self-care tips and techniques using percussion massage, and that will be presented by Paige Costello. Our EduTalk resource library is biotome.com/edu-talks. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nathan. We look forward to seeing you again on the EduTalks and really appreciate it tonight. Go forth in confidence, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.